We are here as part of the Legacy Project. Today we are excited to be joined by Dr. Simpson. Start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, where you went to high school, where you went to college, and some of your influential teachers.
Okay. Thank you for having me, first of all. I'm a native of Montgomery, Alabama. I went to Robert E. Lee High School. I was in the first complete graduating class back in 1958. I attended the University of Southern Mississippi in Hattiesburg. I also attended the University of Mississippi in Oxford. I have a Bachelor of Music and Music Education degree from the University of Southern Mississippi. I have a Master of Music and a Dr. of Arts degree from the University of Mississippi. And I received those two degrees in 1971 and 1973. My first experience in teaching band was in Union, Mississippi. That just happened to be a few miles up the road from my future wife. So that's mighty convenient. So I was in Union for 62 and 63. After I taught for a year, I probably shouldn't say this, but after I taught for a year, I thought, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. So next thing I know, I get a notice to go report for your physical. That's when they had the draft. And of course, I passed. And so I went to Laughlin Air Force Base in Texas and ended up joining the National Guard. So I was kind of out of the works, you might say, for the better part of the year. And I thought, well, maybe I need to go back and work with someone in a high school situation. Since my folks had paid for my 4-year education, don't just base what you're going to do for the rest of your life on 1 year's experience. So I went back and actually got an assistant, worked as an assistant with Robert Jordan in Canton, Mississippi, and that was probably the best decision I ever made as far as my college teaching career is concerned. After my little break there, it being in the service, I was assistant band director for 1 year, and then for 5 years after that as a regular band director in Canton, Mississippi. I went to the University of Mississippi and received my doctorate. And after I graduated from there, I went to the University of North Alabama in Florence in 1973. I went there as assistant band director and woodwind instructor. I was appointed chair my second year there in 1974 and remained in that position until 2007. And I taught woodwind and music education classes, and I was there for a total of 34 years. Now, some of the things that I'm proudest of, one of them is when I was in Canton, Mississippi, I had several of my students in the Canton band make or be part of the Mississippi Lions All-State Band. That was really a special group to be in, and quite an accomplishment if you can be in that group. So I'm pleased with that. Another accomplishment I'm proud of, in addition to receiving excellent and superior ratings at Band Festival, my band, Canton High School Band, won the first annual AAA division of the Six Flags Over Georgia concert competition in 1969. And I was so proud. I can remember they gave us a little trophy with 6 flags on it. And I was so proud. I wanted to walk all over. I let the kids go to the amusement park, Six Flags, and I would carry that little trophy around the show. That was really, really special. Moving on to a little later years, while at UNA, probably one of my proudest moments was I facilitated the University of North Alabama becoming a member of the National Association of Schools of Music. It's pretty prestigious to be an accredited member of NASM. We did that in 1986. And just to throw this in, this is another proud accomplishment. In 2008, I was inducted as in the first inaugural class of the Alabama Music Educators Hall of Fame. So that was special to me. I have to say that my teachers were very memorable to me. In Montgomery, I went to Capital Heights Junior High School. George Prince was my band director, and he was a superb teacher. He taught all the instruments, and he never taught me anything incorrectly about playing clarinet. He was a trumpet player himself, but fine teacher. That was Montgomery, Alabama. Dr. John M. Long, who is now at Troy, he was my band director at Robert E. Lee High School. He's probably the reason I went into music. He is the reason I went into music as a career, profession, and I thank the world of him. I have to give credit to a person I call my mentor. Remember, I said I went to Kent, Mississippi as an assistant band director. Robert L. Jordan was the band director. Well, he left Kent, and I stayed there 5 more years, but he, in the meantime, got his doctorate degree, went to Ole Miss, and guess what? He was my major professor, which is kind of neat. I worked with him for a year in Canton, then he was my major professor at Ole Miss. Another memorable person who I met as a student was at the conductors conference at the University of Southern Mississippi. Every year they had an annual conductors conference and brought in notable people from all over the country. I'm sure you may have heard of William D. Ravelli. He conducted, he was on the concert, and it was just a real experience to have somebody of that stature. It's like the greatest coach in the world or the greatest director in the world directing you, and made you feel good to be under his baton. Although I've heard many memorable performances throughout my career, I don't recall any one particular one that stands out above the rest, but I do recall a performance, I think it was Northeast Louisiana State Band directed by Dr. Joe Barry Mullins. He did this at the Winter Carnival Parade in Greenwood, Mississippi. This had been many years ago. He played, I think, American Salute. And when they started that, it was like unbelievable. I mean, it was really fun. I'm sure that you probably, Martin Gould's American Salute. Another memorable performance would be Tridico by Vaslav Nenibel. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but it was directed by Dr. William Ravelli at Southern Mississippi. And then, if I don't know, most people have heard of or may have played this piece, Elsa's Procession to the Cathedral. Well, Lucien Callier is a guy that arranged it, and he conducted that piece at the University of Southern Mississippi, and I think he probably had a lot of people in the audience in tears. I mean, it was so emotional. So I still remember that. First of all, you need to realize, or people need to realize, that no college or university is going to adequately prepare you for your first year for teaching. It's a learning experience. But I taught school for almost for a school year, almost the whole thing. I started late, but you're just so you're by yourself, and I got a great education. But my advice is, it's great if you can go be someone's assistant that you really respect and has a great reputation. I mean, that's like that 1 year I worked with this Bob Jordan in Kent, Mississippi. It's like going to 4 years of college. Of course, it was helpful for that particular situation because when he left, I had that situation. But still, if I had left after working with him for a year, I learned so much that I could apply to any place I went to. So I would say, if you have an opportunity, don't be hard-headed and go out and say, I want to do it all by myself. Have the benefit of somebody else's counsel, and you'll end up moving further, probably faster, if you do that. Also recommend that when you're in college, or if you have an opportunity to do this, take as many pedagogy classes as possible. Class woodwinds. I taught class woodwinds. That's what you're going to be doing. I mean, the pedagogy of teaching. And also come to conferences like this, where other people are giving presentations. Take as many seminars as you can. Go to as many seminars as you can, and it's going to pay off big dividends if you do that. when I first went to the University of North Alabama, that area, Muscle Shoals is like the recording capital of the world at one time. I don't know if it is now, it's probably not anymore, but I was asked to play clarinet on about three different records. I still have the record jackets. Those of you do know what a record is. I mean, they're coming back in, we have cassette tapes on it. But okay. But I was with if you remember the coal miner's daughter, the guy that was LaVon Helm, he wanted to have a singing career. I'm on a song with him in 1982 on Capitol Records, and then Matt Davis, 1976 on Columbia Records. I was on that. And then Mac McAnally is still very active. He's I think Red Bay, Alabama, and I saw him not too long ago in 1978. His post coming out, things. I got the music. The reason I'm saying this, of course, I'm proud of it, but you need to take every opportunity if somebody asks you to perform. I chose the path of being a music educator and teaching, as opposed to being a professional player. I'm selfish. I did not want to have to spend 8 hours a day in practice room practicing. If I was going to play in the symphony, I couldn't wait for 15 people to die until it was my turn to get that empty chair spot that everybody else wanted. I didn't want to be have to ride in a bus, go in different places, play here one night and 500 miles away the next night. I wanted a family life. I like to do other things. I like carpentry, I have a motorcycle, I do electrical work, I do a little bit of everything. So I wanted to have a life. And so I don't regret that. I'm trying to get back more into playing now than I've done my teaching. But do whatever you can do. And I'll tell you what, I don't have a degree in counseling, but I might as well. I found that band students or music students, they'll come talk to you and tell you things probably you shouldn't even know, but they have confidence in you and they confide in you, and you can have a big influence. You can have a positive or negative influence, and I would choose to have a positive, but I try to be empathetic with students and help them. So take your position seriously, and I think everybody needs to think about this too. When you teach, you might as well think that you're in a fishbowl. I mean, some people think what they do is hidden from the, it's pretty much out there in public. So just behave yourself and enjoy the students and help them and have a good life. And thank you for letting me talk today.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time today and sharing your story with us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you.